Good morning, guys. It's Thursday, the sun is up, and I'm out on the bike. I'm just gonna go down, get some money and do some bits and bobs in Davao. Then I'm gonna come back and I'm going to do a vlog on the balcony. A vlog on the balcony. So today it's bike and balcony vlog. I'm on the balcony, but I'm at the balcony of SM Langer, and I'm queuing for my second dose. In the arm, second dose. Gone through the first part, come to the second part now, which is the registration. So I've just filled out some forms. The writing is so small I cannot see it. So this is the paperwork. You've got to fill it out, and then when you get to the computer section, you have to put your QR number in here, yeah, and the QR number is here at the bottom of this page, this piece of plastic. It's so small, it's less than a millimeter, and I can't see it, and it's frustrating me at the moment. I don't know whether this is in focus. My phone is struggling, it's going in and out, trying to get it in focus. But anyway, that's what you have to do. Fill out the paperwork, then you QR. Look, see, we're going down this way. There's some people on the left hand side that will check the paperwork. Then you go further down, and then they talk to you about what's going on, the effects and stuff like that. Then they do a computer bit, and then they stick the needle in your arm. There we go. So yeah, it's Avanti. That's what the man is saying. There we go. I'm going on. I'm gonna get my AstraZeneca. Have my paperwork. Make sure you bring a pen. The obligatory pen. Always bring the pen. 29.
Is your schedule, sir? Is 29?
That's my birthday. We're queuing. So we're going down this corridor, this line first, and then we go down my line here. Had a problem with my blood pressure. They said that 101/91 was moderate, so the second dose it needs to be lower than that, but I'm getting the vaccine, so go from there, really. Yeah. It's 11:07. I've been here an hour. There's a nice doctor here. And she's going to stick something in my arm. Second dose. There we go. AstraZeneca. Yes, ma'am. There we go. You want me to get closer? There we go. They have that little... Okay lang. And they have the sharp box. There we go, the sharp box. And wait. Okay. Into monitoring in the cinema. Same as last time. So that was pretty good. There's a young lady. Look at the young lady go. There we go. So we're in the cinema. No films. No popcorn. Vlogging on my balcony. I'm going to have coffee first. Coffee and a cookie. On the balcony. I've not done this for a while. So visa. So there is this new immigration update and visa update going through the Senate as I speak. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs. I don't know all the ins and outs, but I do know quite a bit. It's ongoing and it's running forward quite quickly. There was a statement on the 24th of July thanking the House of Representatives and the House of Senate for rushing through the new changes to the immigration law in the Philippines. Now, the law since 1940, so a lot of that information and a lot of that stuff from 1940s was not relevant in today's life. So as of this new act, the new visas will cover all foreign nationals, all, whereas the old regulation or the old laws turned around and said it will cover aliens. So that was somebody that wasn't part of the Philippine culture or wasn't part of the Philippine structure, wasn't part of Philippine life, and it was very, very focused on certain parts of travel. Now, the new law is broken down into alphabet. So it starts at A. So A will be where tourist visa used to be, now sits. So 9A will be A. And then A has three categories. It has business, pleasure, medical. Okay? And you have to apply for that visa in your country. You can't apply for it here in the Philippines. It don't work. You have to apply for it in the country you're traveling from to come into the Philippines. That's all the visas. Yeah, it's all the visas. So I'm giving you the information bit by bit as I understand it. So business is anybody that comes into the Philippines. You need to have your passport, visa application. You'll need to turn around and say how long you're going to be staying and where you're going to be staying, whether with friends or in a hotel or a resort, whatever. And you need to turn around and produce financial documentation to support that you can afford to come to the Philippines and stay. Also in that is going to be an insurance policy that if anything happens with Delta, COVID-19, closed down, lockdown, hotels, that your insurance will cover you for that period of time. Okay? That's business. Pleasure, exactly the same. Exactly the same. Okay? And medical is about whether you are going to get teeth, boobs, bottom, whatever, nip and tuck, heart or anything, because it's really expensive to get open heart surgery in the Western world. In the Philippines you get the same quality standard, but it's a far cheaper. Yeah, so that's that. Now you get 59 days as the visa, no longer 30, 59. Now the caveat on those three areas is on pleasure. If you come to the Philippines on pleasure and you are doing things to make money, let's put it that way, you're selling stuff on Facebook or you're doing something else like media or YouTube, selling YouTube stuff, merchandising t-shirts, coffee mugs, anything like that under the pleasure, this is contrary to the visa rules on pleasure. Yeah, This was made in a statement on the 25th of July, making it very, very clear that if you are in the Philippines and you come in on the visa that is for tourism, you are not allowed to run a business within tourism, within the pleasure zone. You have to go and apply for the business visa, because you're running a business. So that's what I know about that top part of A. Now there's another part in B and C. So there's a part that covers if you're coming to the Philippines and you're doing exchange, you need a visa for this, and that is under another category. It doesn't sit under category A. I think it sits somewhere further down in the alphabet. You also, if you are coming to the Philippines on a religious grounds, you're going to go and work for the church, or you're doing something humanitarian, then your visa comes under another alphabet prefix. Okay, that's what I know. If you are coming through the Philippines, transiting to say Japan from America or Canada, and your stopover is in the Philippines, you will be required to have a transit visa. Yeah, and that transit visa will cover the same as A. You will need to apply for the visa. You will need to explain why you need the visa. You will need to prove that you have funds to pay for your period or your transit or stopover in Manila or in Cebu or in Davao, wherever it is. You will need to put, if you're going to stay and it's going to be 20 hours and you're in a hotel, you will need to supply that booking information. Yeah, you will also need to make sure you have insurance, that if your flight is delayed or is an outbreak of COVID-19 or it goes pear-shaped, you have that covered before you fly. Not arriving at the airport and turn around and saying, I don't have anything, because all they'll do is put you on a plane and send you back to where you come from. You will not be allowed access into the Philippines. So the categories have gone fairly steep now, and it's gone like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now there is a category called M, and that's an M visa. And in the M visa, that is a bridging visa. You apply for that if you're going to turn around and bridge from a pleasure visa into a transit visa, or you're going to go into a marriage visa, or you're going to go into another visa. That's a bridging visa which covers you in that period of time. What I've been advised is that that period of time is not 59 days. It's a shorter period of time for you to complete your transit from one visa area into another visa area. Okay, which means you have this transition window of whatever that period of time is, and I don't know what it is. That will come out when the law is published. So before, very, very simple: come in, get a visa, do whatever you got to turn around and do, disappear off the face of the earth and go into hiding in the jungle, whatever you want to turn around and do. Go down, do your SRV, do your business. The Philippines are taking control of their borders. Yeah, they are stopping people coming in, abusing the visa system, working, taking all their money out of the country. You have to apply all of that financial and banking information to your visa, otherwise you don't get in. Okay, now what I do know about the new part of the visa process is that once it's passed in law, it will be published in the Manila Bulletin, and 15 days after it's published in the Manila Bulletin, it will be law. It will be law, and everybody will comply to it. So in that, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. SRV is one of those alphabetical letters, is where I sit. Now, I already have my visa. I already have my bank balance statements given to the BI and the visa process. I already have funds into an account that I have to keep there. So I'm already part of that system. Yeah. What didn't happen with me is when I went to the London embassy, they turned around and said, yeah, you can fly into Manila, you can then apply for SRRV. Well, that's not right. That's just the embassies in the countries that are giving out Philippine information are just being lazy, because the law will state it's their responsibility to police your paperwork before you come to the Philippines, whether that's on business, pleasure, medical, you're coming to meet family or whatever. Okay, now the visa period is 59 days. I don't know whether you can get that automatically renewed or you have to leave. I don't know what that is. That's going to come out when they publish the law. Now, immigrant. So there is another category about immigrant. Now, immigrant is a whole new kettle of fish, and it's something I don't fully understand. Yeah, and I don't fully understand it completely. What I do understand is that immigrant is under quota and non-quota visas. So quota visa is a visa that is given, and there will be 200 visas a year being issued to each country that meets the 4 parts of quota. So let's take quota for instance, and there's 4 parts to quota, and the 4 parts are, if you are applying to come to the Philippines and you're using that immigrant part of it, that will turn around and say, if you are a qualified technician, if you are a nuclear physicist, or you are a high achieving academic, if you are the top in your field and you are coming to the Philippines from your country, they will issue a visa in that block. So if you're coming from the UK will they'll put you in this category. You need to sit in the top 5 to 10% of super knowledgeable, very, very competent, have a lot to offer the Philippines. Yeah, they're not going to turn around and give a quota visa to somebody that turns around and says, I've been driving a bus, I've got an A-level in mathematics, and I've got no savings. You ain't going to get a quota. If you turn around and say that you are the next Einstein of philosophy, or you're the Stephen Hawkins of, you will get a quota visa to come to the Philippines. And that's how the 4 quotas work, and each one of them is based on certain academic achievement or high skill factor areas. Non-quota is a little bit different. The non-quota is about whether you've been married and you're divorced, and you've been living in the Philippines and you've separated from your Filipino partner and you're on the back of her visa, you will lose that visa under that quota, okay, because you don't fit under that quota, and that quota will go back into the pot to be reissued. Yeah, there are 200 quotas or 200 visas a year being issued to each country. They are not carried over. They get to the end of the year and they start again. They don't turn around and go, well, we've got 50 left over from this year, it's going into next. It doesn't work like that. It's 1st of January, 31st of December, 200 visas go in there. If you've got 20F left over, they've gone, finished. Start again, 0 to 200 on your country, and you go like that. And you have to meet those quotas, okay? So that's under immigration. And as I said, I'm not too familiar about the rest of it, but that's what it's sitting there.
How are you, Gary?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good.
That sounds good.
Long time no see.
Well, I've been running around, doing my vlogging.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, I'll see you later. Take care.
No.
Yeah. Now, the other thing under visas, under the alphabetical section of it, is students. If you're coming to the Philippines and you're going to become a doctor at a local college or a local university, you will apply for your visa back in your country. And what I've been told, I don't know whether it's right or wrong, is that you will turn around and be issued a visa for the period of your training requirements. So if you're coming to the Philippines for 3 years, you will get a visa for your 3-year course in the Philippines. So at the moment, what actually happens to those students is every 2 weeks they go down to the BI, they apply for another visa, they go through that visa process, they pay for it. So they're clogging up that system. What actually happens is, if I'm coming to do training in the Philippines, I want to be a doctor, and I go down to the local hospital, teaching hospital, and I apply and I get accepted, then I will then apply for a visa that will turn around, and that will become, I think it's the L visa, will come under the student part of it, where it will be issued to me from the 1st of March, and it will run for 3 years, and I will have to go to the BI each year just to check on it that I'm doing the course, I've achieved my grades, and I've turned around and made all the payments. That's how it works. And that means you have to pay for your courses, because you can't come here, on a visa, remember this, you can't come here, start working here, because your visa doesn't allow you to work. It doesn't allow you to work. That's a business visa. So all those people that come here and say, oh, I can work in a cafe and I can take jobs for the Filipinos, that doesn't work like that. So visas will be changing. It will be changing fairly quickly. There are five amendments in the Senate that are going through at the moment. Number 5 is this new update immigration policy that covers the whole spectrum of immigration coming into the Philippines. There is a section on if you want to move to the Philippines. Okay, if you want to move to the Philippines, there were certain restrictions under the old rules that you had to get married, you had to do this, and you had to do that. I believe, this is what I'm being told, that that's becoming a little bit looser now, a little bit open for people that can turn around and come and live here. The restrictions are a little bit less. You still have to produce your payment, and you still have to produce that you can afford it, and you need to turn around and show where your income is coming from. Now, I know some people back in the UK, they went to the Philippine embassy because they want to come back here. His partner has turned around and has got an English passport now. They're not going to do anything with his passport, his application, until January 2022. Yeah, 2022. That's fact. I know that from one of my subscribers, and he's telling me he's going down to the Philippine embassy, he's queuing up. They will not process it at the moment because I believe it's the new rules and regulations are coming in under lockdown. Nobody's moving, there are no flights in the Philippines. They're going to bring in all this immigration changes. It's going to be slicker and easier to do when they open up in September, to turn around and say, okay, these are the new rules, this is what you have to abide by. If you're on the old rules, once they run out, you have to move across. If you leave and you go out of the country, you have to abide by the new rules coming back into the country. So, fairly clever really how this is actually being brought together. Some people think it's going to be a lot stricter. I don't think so. I think it's gone down the route of the American model, where you apply online, you turn around and you do tick boxes saying, yeah, I've got this. You give bank details, you're going to use a credit card or whatever you're going to do like that. If you're here long term and you're going to reside here, where are you going to get your money from? Is it a pension? Is it a trust fund? Is it from a wealth management scheme? Is it from you won the lottery? Great. If you